Okay, I'm here to tell you, enthusiasm is not about being loud. It's not about taking up the most space in the room. It's not about having the most charisma and the most positivity. It's about bringing energy and presence and belief. Belief in what's possible, even in the middle of the biggest, most complex challenge or transformation. So in this video, I'm breaking down what enthusiasm in leadership really means and how to use it to inspire trust, to fuel resilience, and lead with authenticity. Let's get to it. So let me first start with what I believe enthusiasm really is and what it isn't. And I will tell you, I do feel like I am uniquely positioned to talk about this because ever since I was little, people have called me enthusiastic and energetic. And I will tell you, as I was growing up and I heard this, I thought it meant they are seeing my positive energy. They're seeing me being a glass half full type of a person. I am incredibly optimistic. And when they said it to me, it was always a compliment. And so for the longest time, I thought it meant I need to keep showing up as positive. Now, I'm also the kind of person that doesn't like to feel difficult emotion. I think it's why I was destined to invent this mindset of change enthusiasm, which embraces the difficulty of emotion. I'm also 11 years sober. And so for many years, in order to numb or get away from difficult emotions, it's when I turned to the drink. And it was during that time that I assumed that my enthusiasm was my ability to show up in a very positive, upbeat way. And I will say at times it was performative because it wasn't truly what I was feeling. But I will tell you what I've come to realize is that true enthusiasm is not this rah, let's go positivity. It's not this toxic positivity, over the top, charismatic, so much so that it invalidates the difficult, more negatively perceived emotions that might be being experienced with people around you. I believe what true enthusiasm is, and notably for those who are leading others, it's about having a belief in what's possible and feeling the inspiration of moving towards that possibility. This is what I've come to embrace in my sobriety. It is about understanding what is possible for this life, this one life that I have, to live, and what I am destined to manifest. And I think that it's a lot. It's a lot. And when I think about that, and I have such strong belief in my ability to create, in my ability to manifest, and this thing that I see as a vision for my life, I know that it's possible. And I know that I will create it. And that's the energy that bubbles up through me. And it shows as enthusiasm. And now the compliment that I receive is less about, man, Cassandra, you're so enthusiastic. It's almost a sense of curiosity and awe. And people talk about me being lit up. They talk about my face being lit up. And I think that's true enthusiasm. It's this inspiration from within. You know, the Greek derivation of the word enthusiasm is entheos, and it means divinely inspired. And so I think for someone to exemplify enthusiasm and when they're leading others, it's this inspiration from within of knowing what is possible and believing in that potential, believing in that possibility and being driven to go and find it. And then the excitement just comes with it because you're moving towards this thing that's so exciting, that's so possible. It's really about having the ability to energize and inspire others, not by drowning them in positivity, not by invalidating any level of negative perception or negative emotion, but by embracing and recognizing when times are tough, embracing and recognizing when they themselves are feeling down or feeling that level of frustration, but getting back to what's possible and the belief in themselves and that team making it happen. The other thing that I want to do, just because it's bubbling up in my head, and I'm speaking to that person watching this, thinking to themselves, okay, Cassandra, it might be easy for you to find enthusiasm, but for me, cynicism is so much easier. It's so much easier to find all the wrong, to believe that everything is going to be terrible, that everything is going to keep being awful because that's just the state of the world, right? We're living in a dumpster fire. So it's easy for me to find and reach my frustration, my anger, and my cynicism. I hear your point. even though, I just said it. I see you. I see what you're thinking. And I would say in some respects that cynicism is a little bit easier to reach. I think it's a part of how we're naturally wired, that fear, that frustration, that anger, it's so easy to find. But the pathway of nurturing cynicism and having that be your gut response, and the pathway of enthusiasm, both of them can be created. It just takes intentionality to carve out that path. And it depends on what's rooted at the start of the path. For cynics, it is a belief that everything is going to be terrible. It's all going to go downhill. We're never going to get it right. Even if we do, something else is going to come and it's going to throw us off our path. That's the route of cynicism. They're putting their belief in things not going well. And it manifests as cynicism. For an enthusiastic person, the belief is put in the possibility and its manifestation. The possibility of the growth, the evolution, what we're going to learn, how we're going to grow, and the manifestation, the way that comes out is by way of enthusiasm, right? And so it's all rooted in where you put in your belief. Where do you put your belief? An enthusiastic leader puts their belief in what's possible to grow, to evolve, to keep becoming better and better. Enthusiasm. So now let's talk about why I see enthusiasm truly as a leadership strategic asset. I really find it to be an emotional amplifier, even when times are really difficult and really tough. And again, I'm speaking from a place of being a self-proclaimed enthusiastic leader, someone who is known as the world's leading expert on change enthusiasm. I am able to meet my people, to meet my peers, to meet my family, to meet anyone that I'm chatting with exactly where they are. Because I know in order for this enthusiasm to happen, I have to face the reality of what's before me and the difficult emotions that are inspired in it. And I use those as little signals, little guideposts to paint me towards the opportunity, which is that possibility, right? And then knowing that I have the agency to then move forward, to transform those signals into better and better emotions, right? And the more often that I do that, that's how my enthusiasm grows and grows. But I think, from a strategic standpoint, enthusiastic leaders have the ability to amplify the energy of the team. They can meet them where they are. They can understand the emotional energy. They can speak language to it. They can speak name to it. And then they can move their people into a different energetic signature. They have that power. I think in particular, enthusiasm, as we think about it in a role of a leader and in leadership, it builds three things in particular. It builds psychological safety, team stamina, and forward motion, right? Always putting one foot over the other. So now let's dive in and get tactical, all right? I've got 3 tactics for you to find your own authentic enthusiasm. The first tactic is to speak your beliefs out loud. And when you start with this tactic, you're going to know real quick whether you're a cynic or you're an enthusiast. Because like I said, it's all rooted in belief. So speak those beliefs out loud. And if you're striving to nurture an authentic enthusiasm, speak your belief in what you believe is possible. Possible as it relates to growth, evolution, learning, and becoming just a little bit better than you were yesterday. Speak that out loud. Right? Maybe it's just at first to yourself. Maybe it's just into a page of a journal. Maybe it's just to your spouse, to your wife, to your partner. But find ways to practice speaking it out loud to your team. Here's what I think is possible. We are experiencing such challenging times, and I woke up so frustrated and so anxious. But this is what I think is possible for us. Speak it. I see belief as one of the most powerful currencies, emotional currencies that a leader can have, especially when that belief is ingrained in the power of their people, their belief in them to accomplish something, to move through something, to learn from something. It's so powerful. Tactic number 2 is understanding the difference between energetic transformation and energetic transference, okay? And this is as it relates to emotional energy. So I'm a chemical engineer by trade, and I always like to geek out, talk about engineering principles where one might not necessarily employ them. So I think about our bodies as closed systems, and the first law of thermodynamics states that energy can neither be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed, conserved, or transferred. And so if we think about our human bodies as closed systems, I know that they're not, but just go with me on this one, and our emotions being that energy, then that means our emotions can either be transferred, transformed, or conserved. Right? So let's talk about the difference between that transformation and transference. Transference is when you're venting. That's when you're just talking about this is terrible, this is awful, I'm so angry, I'm so frustrated, this is terrible, I'm so upset. You're transferring the energy. Now this is usually where we go. When we just heard the announcement, when we just realized there's going to be a round of layoffs, right? This is where we naturally want to go. And there's use to this because it gets the energy moving. But if you stay stuck in energy transference, all you're doing is playing like this game of hot potato, right? And this is when the venting sessions turn into that downward spiral. And everyone is just, woe is me, this is awful. Attrition rates start climbing because you think this is terrible. Grass is greener somewhere else. I have to get out of here, right? That's transference. It might be good in the short term, but in the long run, it's not going to serve you because the energy never goes anywhere. It never changes its signature. Energy transformation is about recognizing the energy that you hold and then using the power of mind, of your choices to transform it. So that's like feeling anxious about an announcement, naming that anxiety, naming what might be fueling that anxiety. There's an unknown. They just had layoffs 6 months ago. This could be another layoff. I could be getting laid off. And then recognizing what opportunities do I have in this moment? Well, I could choose to just keep delivering the way that I've been delivering, recognizing I have no idea what this announcement is and I have no control over changing it. So why not give myself a break and not rest in all this anxiety? Right? And then you can transform that anxiety either into comfort, right? Apathy, not really knowing or caring what's going to happen because you have no idea what it could be, and maybe even something that's more positive and moving you forward, right? Re-engaging in your work. It's energy transformation that really can fuel our betterment and fuel our growth, notably when going through a lot of big change and transformation. Know that leadership is an energy exchange, and it's about using that energy as fuel as opposed to it being friction. Tactic number 3, acknowledge challenge and possibility in the same breath. This could be a difficult one in practice because you don't want to negate the challenge that you're facing. But there is great power in recognizing the challenge that you're facing, allowing the emotions to flow, naming the emotions that it's inspiring, then naming what's possible in that challenge. What could this thing be showing up to teach us? How can we grow through this? How, after we move through this, do you think we might be a better team, a better organization? So in that same breath, you were acknowledging and recognizing the massive challenge before you while also giving voice to what's possible. This is really about embracing the sentiment and something that I hold as a truth, that at the center of every change, every challenge, every transformation is possibility or opportunity. At the center of it all. And it's up to you as a leader, up to your people to understand, ask the questions, get curious. What is it for us this time? I'm feeling so overwhelmed. I'm so frustrated. They've just thrown something else on our plate. But what is the opportunity in this? Let's explore what it might be. And now I have something that I know you'll love. It's for free. That's why I know you'll love it. Also, it's really good. So it's a free assessment for you to understand what type of change leader you're showing up as today. Okay, this is something that is coming out of my company, Change Enthusiasm Global. So after the assessment, you're gonna know what your change growth type is, how you grow through change, what type of change leader you are, and you're gonna get some tips, some tactics, some tools at the end of it. So go ahead and click the link, take the assessment completely for free, and then share on social, share with your team. This is the type of change leader I'm showing up as today. Now, until the next video, until you see this face again, I want you to keep growing, keep nurturing your resiliency, keep feeling and naming those feelings, and of course, keep rocking.